Venn diagrams is something that we use in order to organize the counts or the number of people in a category, especially when those categories can overlap. Let's look at this example where we have 150 college freshmen interviewed. 85 were registered for a math class, 70 were registered for an English class, and 50 were registered for both a math and English class. The problem here is they gave us a total of 150 college freshmen being interviewed. Yet if we added up all of the information given here, totals 205 students. We're assuming that that information was independent of each other, but they're not. So here's how I recommend going about filling out our Venn diagram. Start backwards. In other words, fill in the piece of information that involves all of the circles. For example, if 50 were registered for both math and English, then we know for sure there are 50 students there in the middle. They were registered for both. Now we can look at the fact that there were 70 registered for an English class. Off to the side here, if there were a total of 70 students taking English, but we already had the 50 students that were registered in both English and math, then that means we only have 20 students that were registered for just English. For math, it said there were 85 registered for a math class. Well, if there were 85 students total registered for math, but 50 of those students are already listed as being in math and English, that leaves us with 35 students that were taking math only. If we were to add up these three numbers here, the 35, the 50, and the 20, that would add up to 105 students. But notice there were 150 students interviewed. If you took the total 150 students and then took away all of the students that were registered in math and or English, that leaves us with 45 students who were interviewed that were not taking either math or English. We'll put those students out in the universal set. And just to check, now if we added up all four of these numbers, 35 in math alone, 50 in both math and English, 20 in English alone, and the 45 students that did not take either, that would add up to our 150 students that were interviewed. Now we can answer the questions below. How many students signed up for only a math class? Well, notice these students here in the middle signed up for both math and English. So only 35 students were registered in just math. Number two, how many students signed up for only an English class? That would be the 20. Number three, how many students signed up for math or English? We would add up all of those numbers, 35 plus 50 plus 20, and when we would get the 105 students that we got earlier. And then how many students signed up for neither math nor English? Those were our remaining 45 students. In our next example, we have 3 intersecting circles for our Venn diagram. Again, we have 100 students that were interviewed. So all of the numbers we put into our universal set should add up to 100. We are unsure as to how many overlap. However, if we were to add up all of those students mentioned, there would be 130 students, not 100. So again, we're going to work backwards. This last piece of information here said that 4 students took all 3 subjects, PE, English, and Bio. We would put those 4 students right here in the middle. That is the only space where all 3 circles intersect. Then it says 6 students took biology and English. Biology and English would be this area here in green where those two circles intersect. But we already have 4 students in that area. So if there were 6 total, that means we have 2 students who only took English and biology. Let me say there were 10 students who took PE and English. Well, let's find out the area where PE and English intersect. And of those 10 students, we have already listed 4. So that means the remaining 6 took only PE and English. 9 students took PE and biology, which would be this overlapping area here. 4 of those 9 are already listed, so we are left with 5 students who just took PE and biology. 42 students took English. Well, in the circle that has English, we already have 12 students. So if it was a total of 42, that would leave us with 30 students who only took English. 31 students took biology. There were already 11 students listed in biology, so that leaves us with 20 students who only took biology. Last but not least, 28 took PE. There were 15 students already listed as taking PE, leaving us with 13 students who took only PE. If we added up all of our numbers inside the Venn diagram circles, that only counts for 80 of the high school students that were interviewed. That means the remaining 20 did not take any of those 3 classes, so we'll put them outside here in the universal set. Now we can answer the questions below. How many students took none of the 3 subjects? That would be the 20 outside the circles. How many students took PE but not biology or English? That's the 13 that's in PE but not in any of the overlapping circles. And how many students took biology and PE but not English? That one may be a little bit harder to see, but we want where biology and PE overlap but excludes English. So we have 5.